Welcome to Mindset Mastery Moments, the best growth mindset podcast recognized by Million Podcasts and ranked as a top mindset podcast by FeedSpot. We're proud to be in the top 1% on Listen Notes. Join Dr. Alisa Whyte as we explore powerful insights and strategies to elevate your mindset. Let's dive in.
Disruptors, welcome back to this special two-part episode with the one and only Evan Marks. Evan, you have created and written a book, or you're completing this book called The Quiet Edge. I think it's something that when we talk about the concept of the quiet edge, society glamorizes out loud confidence, hustle culture, and domination. What exactly is the quiet edge?
I'm not a big how-to book. I read one or two self-development books, and they all sound the same. But I think we all learn through storytelling. Mm-hmm. And one of the greatest books I've ever read was The Alchemist. And another great book was Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. And these are fables.
One of my favorites, too.
So I love a good fable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing out there, and my life story is my life story, but there's so many lessons to be learned. Mm-hmm. So The Quiet is at the Edge is a story of three men and their stories and how a community comes together. And it's an incredible story. And we're still writing it, and we're hoping we're doing first quarter of 27, but It's not a how-to. It's more it's interesting because I think everybody can relate to a story.
Yeah.
Right? I can tell a story, but there's a part of that you can relate to, that's happened to you. Maybe it's not the exact same experience, but you could picture yourself in a story like this. So this story is actually a fable about a young man going somewhere and meeting, obviously he's near the water, whatever it may be. But the story's about quieting the mind. Like creating mental space for yourself to figure things out. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about mental space, and we're going back, as we talked about in the first part of this podcast, about emotions. And sometimes we get overwhelmed and life gets chaotic, and we don't give ourselves any time to just process.
Yeah.
And ask ourselves the questions that are necessary. And so this story is about the quiet of the mind and meeting people to help us along the way. And what happens is when we meet people who help us, they're helped also. Yes. So it's a story about quieting the mind, about mental health, about bringing peace to yourself, but also the journey of connection, of relationships, and really this reinvention of yourself. It's not a phoenix coming in the ashes moment. I'm not going that far. But it's a reinvention, it's a rediscovery of who you really are. Not the things that you thought you were. Right, which is almost like shedding away old programming, cleaning that up, and really building new circuits to see, what is it that I would... And by the way, that may still be Wall Street, being in the left lane, going after things aggressively. If that's what you want, go for it.
Yes.
But is that your choice? Go back to that choice again. And if it is, this is a great story about settling into the pocket, asking yourself these questions. And it's a great story that goes with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've never written a book. I'm like, well, I'm 54. Why am I doing this now? I'm like, why not?
It's going to be a great one. And it's going to have that, your sense of humor. And I can't wait to see it. But why is calmness underestimated in elite performance, though?
I think people, it's I had a conversation with somebody last week. When people hear mindfulness, they think it's soft.
Yeah.
So in actuality, consciousness and calmness is really almost like, I use something in my practice called aggressive patience. And I use a lot of reports. So what is aggressive patience? So when we think about patience, we always think patience is very defensive, right? It's not, it's very passive, excuse me.
Yes.
And so that means just life's going by and we're just being patient.
Just ignoring
But aggressive
things.
patience is a jaguar in the brush, heart rate in control, prepared, lean, ready to strike. That's what aggressive patience looks like. So We're
that.
prepped. We're ready, but we're not reactionary. So imagine having that ability, right, of being flexible, but in tune with yourself at any moment, ready to strike. Man, that is a pretty thing,
Yes, it is.
right?
It's
So
beautiful. I
that's the
saw it.
intensity and that calmness. So when we talk
Yes.
about my like that's where I want my people breathing, right? Not at a heightened state always, but this aggressive patience. So when you talk about calmness, calmness doesn't mean you need to be in an ashram in the Himalayas. You could have,
I mean, who has time? Who has the
I'd love to do it. I think I'd be bored in about 5 minutes. But
yeah.
all of a sudden, I could produce that in an aggressive stance the same way. How
Yes. That's
wonderful
the
is
thing.
that? That's
Yes.
aggressive patience.
I
Calm.
love that.
Now, if I said, we're going to be calm, but you're going to look like a jaguar, you're like, well, it doesn't sound very calm to me. I go, but think about it.
When you see that beautiful
That's,
black beast.
yeah. But the elegance, the calmness,
Yes.
yeah. So when I think about mindfulness, I think about fluidity.
Yes.
This beautiful movement, this dance that we're just in this, like you said early in part one, this flow state. And what
Yeah.
is flow really, right? So my job is to bring the unconscious conscious, right? What are
Mm.
the interference to make it conscious? So now through repetition, whatever we're trying to accomplish, right? Not in every,
Uh-huh.
we become unconsciously conscious, which means it's a part of our rhythm. That's what flow is. Also, we're able to tap into these states because we've
Mm-hmm.
done it so many times because we've trained ourselves.
Yeah. I love it. Oh my gosh. That's so beautiful. Actually, I can't help but say the sexy beast of a jaguar being patiently, ferociously calm is that image sticks with me and I like holding it because I have a post on my social media where I did intersect myself with the jaguar, my face a couple of years ago. And so I feel like that energy was something that I was attracted to and I
Oh, it's
felt
like
like
what they
that's
call it,
the
animal spirit or spirit animal.
yes, I
That's
don't
like that.
know, but it just I've never looked at a jaguar like that as I was in my time in that particular time of my life. So it just made so much sense to me because I was looking at how they move and I'm like, I remember my partner saying you're someone that they never see coming. And I'm like, what do you mean? Well,
It's a
nobody
compliment.
really realized how much of a beast you are, but you're so calm and easygoing and not you not can't see yeah. And I'm like, I'm a hot tamales. He's like, that's not what I'm talking about. You'll get it one day. He just backed up. He just backed
It's
up on
funny.
it.
So I had on my wall this beautiful black jaguar picture.
Wow.
But then I got a dog, this little Pouchon. She'd walk
Huh.
in, she'd almost like pee the rug. I go, there goes the jaguar. She could come in my office, she get too scared. There goes the jaguar.
She wanted to knock it out. So let me
She just
ask you
looked at
this.
it like got scared. Yeah, sorry.
It scared her. She felt like it's a big, probably a bigger dog than
Yeah,
herself.
maybe it was too big
How
of a
do you
painting.
but then I'm proud listen, that we don't talk about jaguars enough, I don't think. That was why it surprised me when I tapped into the energy of the jaguar. Because I would look at a cheetah, I've looked at lionesses and lions, and I love butterflies, still love butterflies, but never a jaguar. And then I did. And then now you're talking about it literally almost 2 years later in this way that makes absolute sense to me. But how do you help your clients rewire their destructive thought patterns? If you can walk us through that without giving away your proprietary blend altogether, I say.
I will always give away my proprietary blend
Because,
because I
right?
think
Come
it's
on.
helpful.
See, that's my people. I ask
It,
those questions.
it's so interesting when we go down this destructive thing. And I'll say, that's interesting. I go, you
Mhm.
must be a massive failure. They go, I'm
Mm,
not a failure. I go, well, it sounds like you're a failure. Well, I've done this and this and this. I go, how come I didn't hear about that either? Like everything you've done your whole life is bad? No.
mhm.
I said, why don't you tell me about the good stuff? And then there's literally a pause. And he's like, I don't know why. I said, I'll tell you why. because the brain knows the brain is wired for pain 3-1.
Yeah.
All you remember, I spent 25 years on Wall Street. All I remember is the pain. If you asked me what my best trade word was, I couldn't even tell you.
Mm.
We are wired to remember pain 3-1 to pleasure,
Yeah.
right? So now all of a sudden you say something like that to somebody. I said, let me ask you a question. Give me a Picasso day. Well, this is what I did. I said, oh, I said, how'd you feel? I felt pretty good. I said, how did you behave? And now we start to move. Now we're having a conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
we're changing the focus over what a good day looks like.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not leaving the negative thoughts yet. I said, let's go back to the negative thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
How would you want to feel? Well, I want to feel happy. I said, okay, how would you need to behave in order to do that? Well, I would have to stop reacting and start responding. I said, that's good to know. I said, you're in a good spot now because that's what we do for a living. But these little shifts, it's going back to the whole getting out of bed thing. Okay, you have destructive thoughts, right? Let's say you have anxiety, right? I have a client,
Yeah.
I had massive anxiety. I said, wonderful. I said, this is what we're going to do. I can't control how you feel. And he didn't want to drive. So I said, just go for a 5-minute drive. And then he did like a 10-minute drive. He's like, I did that. I said, okay. I said, so how are you feeling? He said, still anxious. I said, okay. And all of a sudden, we're going back to behavior again. These little things. And I said, I'll call him John. I said, John, you're always going to have anxiety.
Mm.
It's an emotion, it's a feeling, but you keep attaching yourself to all these harmful things about it. I said, let's say you're an anxious person. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. I know a lot of anxious people who are very successful. I said, how about this? Why don't we just let go of the road? Why don't you just acknowledge that you have anxiety at times, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also notice that you have the power of change. So now those are wonderful words I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I said, and I'll say, I said, isn't that nice what I just said to you? Because they start laughing. I said, now we're going to start build evidence. And now we're going to do these small incremental shifts. So now you believe what I'm saying. And that's how you start. For everybody,
Yes.
acknowledge what's going on. It's all right,
Acknowledge it.
but that's your starting point. You know, when people talk about self-development, you got to know why you want to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is we're at a point and we start to develop. We forgot why we wanted to do this. And what happens is
Yes.
self-development comes actually, you're running away from something. And that's when it's not sustainable. Know why we're doing this. That's when I call marrying the why and the how. Why do I do
Mm.
this? Why do I want this? And how am I going to go about doing it? Because then you start building a very strong mental foundation that we can
Yes.
leverage. Otherwise, if you don't know why, even though we're getting better, but we're kind of running away from something, it's all right to acknowledge it. That's really big growth. That's when, like you
Yes.
said to me, that's when change begins. And it's extremely, extremely foundational.
Foundational. Wow. Evan, who do you think people become when they stop performing and they start becoming more emotionally honest?
So when do people become vulnerable and authentic?
Mm.
Right? Because we know this one cliche, the truth will set you free, right?
Right?
We know it. I will say this much. We will be judged, right? And
Yeah.
unfortunately, family inherently judges us because they want the best for us and they think they know what they have best for us. I think we all need a little bit of help sometimes.
Yeah,
And
we
sometimes
do.
it's all right to go outside the family to go get it. So you can be honest with yourself. Because once the words leave your mouth, I'm a massive proponent of verbalization because you can't think yourself out of a problem. You got to verbalize what the problem is and then find the
To
solution.
be the solution.
But sometimes we're too afraid to say it because we think we're going to be judged. And sometimes it's just scary to say it. When you start to verbalize the things that are bothering you, I said in my TEDx speech, I said, pain loses power when spoken. Pain loses power when spoken. When you start to
Okay.
verbalize what hurts you, that's where change begins. And now you start to put the steps into place.
So good. So good. Mindset Bites to go. Guys, Evan is giving us so much of his time. It's also pretty late where he's at, but he's going to give us a Mindset Bites to go segment that is in a rapid fire wisdom section. Evan, I'll ask the question and you'll shoot out the fastest answer to come to your head. What's one lie high performers keep believing?
I know what to do.
Golly, that's deep. These questions should be a whole podcast segment. What is the biggest mindset mistake people make under pressure?
I don't need sleep.
Oh, one habit every leader should develop immediately.
Creating mental space for yourself. Mental space.
Whoa,
Yeah.
yes. What's more dangerous, fear or ego?
Remember, so when people say ego, they should be saying fragile ego. And ego is very important. So ego is a strong sense of self. A fragile ego is not. So
Come
I
on.
would say fear is what? Fear of what? So I would say neither.
Come
I
on.
think fear is a wonderful, powerful thing, right? It
Yes.
has massive intensity.
Yeah.
And an ego is a very important thing because it's a strong sense of self. A fragile ego is the worst thing.
Yes, exactly. And fear that's not confronted with truth, I guess, is where fear is misguided, right? And it's not
Yeah,
used
it's
properly.
just, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah. What's one thing pressure reveals about people?
character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finish this sentence. The quiet edge is.
Quiet edge is a story about going back to your true nature, which is peace.
Oh, peace. Absolutely. Evan, this is so powerful. Let everyone know where they can connect with you and learn more about M1 Performance Group and how they can stay
We're on
connected
all the
for
socials. I have an incredible team behind this whole engine. Our website
Yeah.
is m1performancegroup.com. It's Evan Marks on LinkedIn, emarks72 on socials. We're on Twitter, letter X, whatever they call it nowadays. We have YouTube channel, which is Evan Marks M1. You got some great videos there. And we have a TEDx talk that I did in January. It's on YouTube. And that's where you can find us. We're all over this. We've done a bunch of podcasts. We have stuff coming out all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
And I have a
Evan,
newsletter. So if you want to hear a
you
newsletter, we have a
do.
weekly newsletter. Yes.
Let's
Yeah.
get in and subscribe, guys. We'll definitely have all his links in the description wherever you're listening and watching this episode. Don't forget, if you hopped in on this one, there is a part 1 that's uber powerful where we break down so much of Evan's work and all the mindset, not tips or tricks, but the mindset transformation that he's bringing to the world in a simple and as quickly as we can. But to get all the goods, you got to reach out and be in the space and place where he's at. Listen, Disruptors, thank you so much. And Evan, thank you so much for giving us your time this evening. And I'm looking forward to having you back when the quiet edge is out in
I
stores
can't
and on the
wait.
streets. Yeah, I can't wait to
I
get my
want to
hand on a
thank
copy.
you very much. That was one of my favorite podcasts. And even though it's my latest podcast, I would love to meet you in real person. This was really, really
And
wonderful.
I am
And I
looking
think-
forward to the day.
And you have inspired me. So thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate you leading. You're leading, and you're definitely someone that I am following closely for my own self, my own growth, my own development, and that's what this is all about: growth. So thank you again, and I appreciate your words, and I'm looking forward
you.
to seeing how our work will impact each other and what we
And
do.
watch the TEDx talk. I think you'll love it. Yeah.
I can't. Yes, we're going to put the link here as well, guys, for you guys to watch Evan's TEDx talk, where he speaks as much as they would let him about what he talks about here. So TEDx is tough. It's not a simple task. To see him put it together, I can't wait. I'll be watching it before I go to bed. But until next time, Disruptors, keep mastering your mindset. Think, speak, do become, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.